What's going on, guys? I'm Vulkan, and today we have our tactician hats on because we're going to be breaking down my plans for launch, including my leveling main, the ult I'm going to go with, what to expect from me as a creator over the course of Lost Ark, and some awesome resources that are going to be critical for your journey. These are really great places to check. They have guides, news, helpful resources, and an awesome community behind each one. So like I said, they're going to be really awesome to jump into. So let's go ahead and let's get into this one. So looking at Lost Ark on the surface, you might be thinking, wow, you know, this seems just like your typical MMORPG. You pick a class, you level it up, you start doing some dungeons, maybe some raids, you find some gear, and you'd be right to a certain extent. But the problem is, the answer to that is much more complicated than a simple yes or no, because there's just so much to discover and do in Lost Ark. This game has a ton of content. And if you're someone who wants to start prepping for your own experience, I do have an ultimate starter guide video that would be a great jumping off point. But to get this particular video started, let's talk about the goals for me for launch day, what class I'm going to be leveling first, and the ults I plan to build around them. So in terms of what I want to accomplish on day one, I want to get as close to 50 as I possibly can. So I'm a dad, so I'm going to try to carve out as much time as I can during the first day and just hammer out some levels, hopefully position myself near 50. And then once I'm there, I can start that tier 1 grind. So if it wasn't completely obvious, I'm going to be speed leveling as quickly as I can to end the game. And because of that, I need a class that can handle that kind of speed. Now, this is 100% my preference. I know this is not for everyone. And if you're someone who really just loves to play through the game, experience everything, explore, have a great time, please do that, right? Please do that. Don't feel like you need to rush through the content to keep up. Lost Ark is a game that's all about the individual experience, so please don't compare yourself to others or feel like you're falling behind, because truly you're not. The only person that cares about where you are in the story is you. The end game will always be there, the community will always be there, so take your time and enjoy the game if you would like to. Me, I've played the game multiple times on the Russian server, on the Korean server, so I've seen, you know, the whole leveling experience multiple times, so I'm just going to blow through it. But if you're someone who hasn't done it before, I would highly recommend just enjoy it, have a good time, and like I said, everything will be there for you once you finally hit 50. Okay, so let's talk about my main leveling class. So when I was planning out my journey, right, I originally wanted to go with the War Dancer because I just love the martial artist class. I like the way it feels, it performs. But after getting more time on the Russian version, I just didn't like what I was seeing. It just did not kind of click with me, right? It didn't feel like a good fit for me personally, and because of that, I went back to the drawing board and figured out, okay, what do I need to do? I need a class that has a lot of clear speed, that has high damage, that has decent cooldowns, and something that's really just going to fit me. And because of that, I tried out the Sorceress. Now, this is a class that fits me extremely well. I love the fact that this lady has a ton of fast cooldowns, those high damage skills I was after. That way we can clear through mobs and quest objectives very quickly. That makes leveling so much faster. So I'm going to roll with this one to reach end game pretty much at light speed. I am very much looking forward to this one. And this was actually a class I did not play any of in the past. So this is going to be one of those classes that I'm going to get to experience sort of for the first time. I am getting a lot of experience on the Russian server for now, but towards end game, that's the thing that I think is going to be really cool with this one. Now, my alternate class, right, and this is going to be another end game class that I'm going to be really excited to jump into, and that's going to be the Paladin. So I love to heal. For those of you that know me, I've played a Resto Shaman in World of Warcraft forever. So I just love healing. That's just something I really like to do. And once I saw the Paladin just years and years ago in Lost Ark Korea, I just knew this was going to be one of my main classes. The look, the skill design, the armor aesthetic, the support role, all of these things are exactly what I look for in a Paladin build. And let me tell you, I spend a lot of time creating Paladin builds. Every single game that has the potential to have a Paladin-like class, I end up building it that way because I just love it. It's just something that fits me. It fits me to my core. And because the Paladin is so cool in Lost Ark, I'm going to have that as one of my alternate classes. So anyway, this character I'm going to probably either level second or boost first. It all depends on what happens kind of between the boosts and all that stuff. But just so you know, you're going to see a lot of healing content on this channel as well through the Paladin. So get ready for that. Now I'm going to have two additional alts. I want to do a Bard and a Berserker. So I'm going to do a bard. I want to level a bard for the same reasons as a paladin. I love their look, their utility, their play style. They're not the fastest of classes to level in my opinion. So this one's going to be kind of like a slow grind, and it'll probably be my last alt that I get to 50, but the bard is one that I definitely want to have. And then when it comes to my melee damage class, I want to have a berserker on my roster. I love the way this class plays. Everything is heavy, hard hitting, and just primal, which makes leveling this one super fun and enjoyable. And I think I'll most likely pick this one up before I pursue the bard. That way I have 2 DPS and a support in the lineup that we can handle any end game content requests that we get. And I think this is going to be a really, really strong lineup originally. Now, I do want to do a Gunzerker at some point because just like healing, I love to tank, but that one's going to have to come after these 4. Now, I don't want to get like anything lost in communication, right? These are just the first 4 classes that I want to get to 50. I plan on fully exploring every class now that we finally get to play the game here in the West. So gradually over time, I'm going to fill up my character slots and be able to experience as many classes as I can, especially the Scouter class once it gets added to the game. Now, I also want to encourage you guys to do the same thing, right? Don't feel like you need to just settle on one character. I mean, this is one of the things about Lost Ark that they do extremely well, and that's class design. And it would be an absolute shame just to settle on 1 or 2 of them and only focus on those ones. Now, if all the rest of them don't really interest you, then that obviously is a different conversation. But if you're just kind of like, oh, I only play berserkers and that's all I really want to play, try something different. Have a good time because, like I said, skill design and class design in this game is really good. Okay, so we're going to shift gears a little bit and we're going to talk about trade skills. So when it comes to trade skills or life skills, I'm going to be prioritizing foraging and logging over the other ones because I want to be able to craft potions and upgrade my stronghold quickly. And these will allow me to do that the most efficiently. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to completely ignore the other trade skills. It just means I'm not going to go out of my way to fish, for example. That will come later. I'll focus on that down the road. But for now, I want to make sure I take care of foraging, logging, and most likely mining. I'll probably work mining in there as well because those nodes are so plentiful, especially early on. And just one kind of side tip for everybody, make sure to use your green tools early on and then save your blue tools for once your trade skills are at a higher level. That way they're the most effective because they can have different like affixes and attributes and stuff on them to make life a little bit easier. So burn up those green tools first and then use your blues down the road. Now, let's talk about what you can expect from me for Lost Ark. Okay, so this is something I do for every kind of big release is I want to kind of set expectations because my life has changed quite a bit over the past year. And before, I used to be able to spend day in, day out, hours upon hours, just creating tons of content. And I don't want that to be kind of the impression here because it's what it used to be. So as much as I would love to create a whole catalog of content covering every aspect of Lost Ark, right? That just is not possible in the short amount of time that I have, as well as between now and launch. But I did want to share some amazing resources out there for the community. These are fantastic. Definitely make sure you take advantage of these. Now, these type of resources have been around for years. Some have even been around since the game launched over in Korea, and they really have a huge backlog of content, which is great. So let's talk about these. So the first up is papunica.com. And I hope I pronounced that correctly. I've always just read it. I've never heard anybody say it. Now, this website has an array of guides, builds, how-tos to help with both beginners and experts in Lost Ark, so it's one that you definitely need to visit. Now, next up is Lost Ark Database. This is another just killer site. Has some really strong guides, but the real kind of crown jewel here is the interactive map, because this thing has everything plotted out for you. So if you want to make sure to collect all of the different like Makoko seeds in an area, this map is perfect for that. Then we have Lost Ark Codex, another just really strong website to help you get ready for Lost Ark. So naturally, you know, there's a database to look up all kinds of things in the game. So if you're looking for something in particular, you can find it out here. But there's also a skill builder that just is full of builds submitted by the community. So if you're wanting to have kind of a build put together ahead of time or a little bit of a plan on how you want to build out your character, this is a really solid place to see what other players are using. Now, our last stop is the Lost Archive, which is, again, fantastic resource. Lots of news, updates for the game, and this is for all versions too. They'll have Russian version updates, Korean version updates, English version updates from what I can see. and all kinds of Lost Ark information, which is just really, really cool. They also have some really nice beginner guides. So if that's something that you're wanting to follow, this is another really good place to check. So those 4 places are great. And I would highly recommend them to anyone because you have a database, you have interactive maps, you have beginner guides, expert guides, you have end-game checklists. So there's all kinds of really cool stuff out there. Now, like I said, I'm going to be creating as much content as I can and anything that is helpful, right? So like end-game explanations, maybe some different like farming techniques, some builds, all of that type of stuff I do plan on bringing to the table. But like I said, there's so much out there already that you can take advantage of, and I would hate for you not to use it. So everyone, that wraps this video up. I know you guys are just as excited as I am. I mean, we're finally going to set foot in a Western version of Lost Ark. No more VPNs, no more English patch programs, sketchy email signups, weird kind of phone number registrations. We can just click and go. And I am beyond excited. This has been something that's been in the works forever. You know, ever since I saw the game first get teased like 5 or 6 years ago, we're finally at a point where we can actually realistically say this is going to be out within the next few weeks. And I am beyond excited for it. So I can't wait to just go on a journey with all of you guys. And I hope this video has really helped you with your own planning ideas, right? That was the big kind of push for this video. Also, if you're looking for a community to play with, right? If you're kind of just a solo player and you want to find some other people to play Lost Ark with, stop by our Discord. We have over 1,000 members. We all love action RPGs, looters, shooters. I mean, anything that drops loot, anything that is isometric, we are just all about it. So you'd be right at home. We do plan to have a guild in Lost Ark. So if you're someone who wants to be a part of a guild, we'll do a bunch of PvP stuff, PvE stuff, really just explore everything that Lost Ark brings to the table. We're also taking people for that as well. So I hope this video has helped. I hope to see you in Discord. Thank you all so much for all of the support over all of the years, and I will see you in Arkesia.
Sound off one and all, everybody. Don't take what you openly handed. Reach up and grab the world by the hand and watch what comes along.